The Kappa family, consisting of 6-year-old Trent and 8-year-old Maddox, arrives at a posh resort for a family vacation. The parents of the family are Guy and Priska. Trent makes friends with a young boy named Idlib after they settle into their rooms. Together, they ask other resort guests about their names and occupations, and Idlib gives Trent a special code to decode messages. Guy and Priska talk about how this is the final vacation they plan to give the kids before getting divorced, which is made worse by the fact that Priska has a stomach tumor. A middle-aged physician named Charles is having breakfast with his mother Agnes, daughter Kara, and younger, conceited wife Crystal. Charles assists Patricia, a neighbor, during her epileptic seizure while her husband Jareen tries to assist as well. Although Trent and Idlib had agreed to get together again that day, the resort manager forbids him from staying there. Charles and his family board a van with the Kappas and they head to a private beach. Maddox spots mid-size sedan, a rapper who was previously spotted with a female companion who went skinny dipping there. While the adults relax on the sand, the children play together. The girls come upon abandoned children's dolls buried in the sand. As Trent swims past a cave, he finds Brendan's companion's body apparently drowned. While Brendan is experiencing nosebleeds and is equally as shocked by the discovery, the adults examine the body. Charles believes the woman went for a swim and never returned, but he suspects Brendan of foul play. Agnes starts having breathing difficulties shortly after and eventually passes away as well. When Patricia and Jareen get to the beach, the people who brought them have already left. The children also begin to have strange experiences. Brendan tells the adults that he has hemophilia, which accounts for his frequent nosebleeds, and the woman he was with had multiple sclerosis. Talking with Trent and Maddox, who have unexpectedly grown into pre-teenagers. Trent, Maddox, and Kara, Jareen, and Patricia. There are multiple attempts to escape the beach by passing through the rocks that block access from the outside. But every adult who tries to do so experiences a pounding in their heads before they pass out and return to the beach. Priska experiences agony and distress due to a tumor that has grown in her stomach. The adults attempt to assist her, initially feeling about for the tumor and estimating its size to be comparable to a golf ball. The tumor has now grown to the size of a cantaloupe, so they proceed to remove it surgically. After the surgery, Priska's stomach cut heals quickly. Soon after, Brendan discovers that the woman he was with's dead body has completely decomposed into just bones in a matter of hours, leading them to believe that something time-related is going on the beach. Trent and Kara continue to grow older, becoming teens and young adults. Furthermore, it appears that Kara had sex with Trent just minutes prior, and in a matter of minutes, she became 5 months pregnant. The adults get ready for the quick birth, but because no one is paying attention, the baby passes away in less than a minute. While Crystal is slower than the others to age, the other adults begin to exhibit more overt symptoms. As Charles begins to lose his mind due to schizophrenia, he kills Brendan by stabbing him. While attempting to devise a different escape route, the others take away his weapon. Jareen tries to swim to get out, knowing they can't pass through the rocks. As this is going on, Priska and Maddox have a conversation regarding Priska and Guy's impending split. Priska acknowledges that she was having an affair. Priska tries to defend herself, but Maddox is not amused. Going to the beach, she makes an effort to be strong and get herself out of the situation. But instead she finds Jaren's body, having apparently drowned after going unconscious. Patricia has a catastrophic seizure when she sees his corpse. After that, in a desperate attempt to find a way out, Kara begins to climb the rocks in an attempt to reach the top. But before she gets far enough, she also passes out and falls to her death, leaving Trent inconsolable. It's getting dark now. Charles is completely insane, and Crystal is going crazy due to her accelerated aging process and deteriorating physical condition. Priska has turned a noticeable shade of gray, and Guy is also losing his vision. During their conversation about the other man in Priska's life, Guy acknowledges that he knew about him and regrets not doing more to save their marriage. But he also calls the other man a loser and says Priska deserves a better man. Trent and Maddox discover a notebook that a prior guest had left behind, in which names and medical conditions are listed. They also see what appears to be distant observers of them. After that, Charles begins to attack Guy and Priska, and Crystal attacks Maddox and Trent for attempting to look at her. She follows them into the cave, where she dies after having her body twisted and distorted into terrible angles. Then, using a rusty knife, Priska slashes Charles, causing an infection that quickly spreads throughout his body and kills him. Just before he passes away, Guy, who is now very old and struggles with speech and memory, essentially tells Priska that he still loves her. After a brief period of standing, Priska falls to Guy's side and passes away, leaving the two children to grieve for their parents. Trent and Maddox are now in their 50s in the morning. Maddox Trent displays a code that he received from Idlib, which he interpreted to mean my uncle doesn't like the coral. When the siblings notice a coral reef close by, they know that it must be their escape route. While swimming there, Maddox's clothes get tangled in the coral. When the two don't show up again, Theo, the van driver who drove the families to the beach, notifies his superiors that everyone in Trial 73 has died from his observation post atop a cliff overlooking the shore. It is then revealed that the resort is a front for a medical research team called Warren and Warren, which recruits people with medical conditions to the beach to conduct clinical trials for life-saving medications, which are given to them in the cocktails served upon arrival. Theo drives back to the resort and to a lab area to see this. They shorten the trials to a full day in order to get better results, because they are aware that the paranormal beach accelerates aging. Since Patricia didn't have a seizure for 8 hours, roughly 16 years on the beach, they think they have cured her epilepsy. Trent recognizes a man he spoke to as a child and discovers that he is a police officer. He gives the man the journal that was discovered on the beach, which lists the names and health statuses of numerous missing persons. Trent and Maddox, who were able to break free from the coral, stop the resort manager and other individuals from poaching their most recent victims. Idlib emerges and acknowledges Trent as an adult. The resort staff comes to the realization that they are all screwed when Trent and Maddox let everyone know the truth. Authorities come to arrest all the resort employees, while in the final scene, the officer takes Trent and Maddox by helicopter away from the island to be with their aunt, who is not ready to see that her niece and nephew are full-grown adults.